Test, 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 test. I hear it now. Good. So welcome to our workshop, Honoring One Another. I want to get some feedback on, you saw the video of the rabbi's gift. And what was your feelings? What were your thoughts as you saw that?
It just was a warm feeling, and I wanted to, it really sunk in that we don't know about the other person, but we can just honor them as they are.
Perfect. Anyone else?
The other person that we're speaking to might be on the police force for the infinite, and they may be, reporting back that we didn't honor them. We could be in a lot of trouble.
There you go.
There you go.
By honoring others in a group, for whatever reason, it brings people closer together. And you put your energy out into the universe, and you can still attract more people like they did with the people coming to the grounds. Because it can be felt.
Exactly. The energy that you put out can be felt and attracts more people. Linda?
Which is kind of relates to what I was going to say. Community was a word that came up. Communing together. And sometimes we don't even know we're doing it while we're doing it.
Yeah.
And that's when we see these miracles unfold, which is what that story reminded me of.
An apparent miracle. I love it. Things shifted without marketing, without better bylaws. Things just shifted. Very interesting. So I talked about having a mind virus created. But that's what can happen. It becomes virulent. It becomes, you get it. And things begin to change. And it gets to that place of discipline and saying, well, do we like that? Do we like that feeling, that increased energy that we sensed in that story? And I think everybody did, liking that feeling. Well, how do you capture that feeling? And I talked about discipline and making a commitment and recognizing the opportunity for discipline as being a disciple of your own life, of whatever is occurring. You're mindful enough to pay attention to it, to look at what's happening. And so the growth and expansion of this community defaults to the community, not the minister. Imagine a minister walking into a place where this virus was so contagious, as soon as they stepped into the sanctuary, they got it. Love, peace, wisdom, extraordinary respect. It can shift everything. It can shift everything. So I want to just give a little graphic explanation of this, if I can. Who knows what I'll end up with. But if you look at the energy of this community, it's a cloud. A cloud of energy. Want the mic? So what's in the cloud of energy? The thoughts, feelings, and emotions of each person here, right? Now, if you think of that in terms of everybody's got thoughts, feelings, and emotions, are they always moving in the same direction? No. So what's holding this together? Well, if you remember, we did an exercise that was called the 4 whys. Why do you come here? Why is that important? Why is that important? Asking why 4 times till you finally get to a core that is an energetic thing that we share as a community. And that's what holds the cloud together. Is the reasons that you come here. Some centers, maybe it's the music. They have a performance theater and they have, spectacular musicians and guest speakers, and the challenge with that is that the why can become very fickle. Oh, that wasn't a very good performance. I didn't like that today. Again, we studied the fingernail instead of what it's pointing at, you know. So the question then is, how can we pump more energy into that? Because if that's the creative energy that makes things expand and grow, how do we do that? Anybody have any ideas? Yes?
Align our thoughts.
Align our thoughts. Well, and so that can be,
This way, the positive way.
and that happens somewhat with classes, right? With talks on Sunday, with events. We, depending on, so there's this other piece. It's called a thought form, a TF, a thought form. Inside of this cloud, there are a gazillion thought forms going on, right? In terms of the feelings and emotions and whatever's happening. Can they be conflicting? Well, they often are, right? So alignment with the thought forms is what we're talking about. And it's going to be different for each and every person. But the key piece is recognizing that the person in front of you may be the Messiah. That thought form in itself of saying, how can I develop that extraordinary respect that the monks developed over months, as the video showed, right? They developed that sense of extraordinary respect. And we know that, monks are very practiced people. I mean, they do things, chop wood and carry water, and spiritual practice. That's all they really do. So if we can be disciplined to just the idea of extraordinary respect, would that pump more energy into this cloud? That's what we're looking to do, is have those thought forms pump more energy in. And as that happens, people that are wandering out here with their own little ideas, their own thought forms of what is important in life, start to say, what's going on over here? There's more energy there than there was before. Maybe I can get some of that. Is that making sense? All right. So we're going to do an exercise. I'm not sure how it'll work because I've never done it with a group like this. But can somebody count how many people we have here? Wenda. And then for the people online, I'm going to have a little bit different exercise because it's different.
Am I counting you?
No,
Okay.
not Pam either. Pardon me? 23 online. Thank you.
Okay, I think there's 17.
17?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really being challenged right now.
It's okay.
17.
17.
17.
So I'm going to ask you to count. We want 4 groups. I'm going to ask you to count off by 4s so that the ones will be together, et cetera, et cetera. So Marjorie, do you want to start?
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1.
Okay, so I'd like the 1s to migrate together, the 2s to migrate together, the 3s to migrate together. We're forming small groups. And it'd be great if we could...
Need to put the Zoom in groups.
I don't know what's happening online right now.
There are 24 people, so I could put them online if we want.
I think without having this exercise.
Okay, where are the 4s? One more 4.
So one of the groups is going to have an extra person, and that's okay.
You want to tell the people on Zoom what to do?
I'm
Yeah.
about to. Yeah. So if I could have your attention, you should be in your groups. You can sit down together. Sit down together. Well, I'm going to tell you what you're going to do. I know you like to just talk, but I want you to talk about something very specifically. So this exercise is taken from the rabbi's gift. And ladies. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with one person. The person's going to say their name, and then the next person is going to declare something that they appreciate about them. Okay? Now, this could last till 4 o'clock. So you want to try and be mindful that you don't want to go on, but you do want to get something that's heartfelt. Now, I know that you may not know everybody in your group, right? You may not really be familiar with their experience or what they do or who they are. This is where you have to put on the consciousness of the divine and look at the person and tell them what you think they should know about themselves. We've never met. I love your energy and the fact that you're here today. It uplifts us all. Okay? Just some positive statement about who you see behind the mask. All right? Yes, Marjorie. Everybody says something to that person. And then the next person has already said their name to address them. So I would say, my name's John Wenda, and this is what I see about you. Okay? So then everybody knows everybody's name. And so, does that make sense? So we just declare that for each person, and when the group is done, you move on to the next person. All right? So for those of you that are in Zoom land, online, my suggestion is to do this, is think of 6 people that are important in your lives and write down that same appreciation of them, whatever you really appreciate about them. Family member, people that you work with, people that you wish would change how they are, but tell them what is in your heart about what you really see. Okay? So you can, yes?
So if I say I'm Marjorie,
Yes.
then everybody says something about her, then everybody says something about me?
So then Eileen would then say, I recognize this about you, Marjorie. And then
And Eileen would say,
you would then say, Marcia would then say something about Marjorie. Janice,
the center.
While we go around the circle.
Marjorie says nothing, but just takes it all in. So that is an important clarification, thank you. That the person that is being spoke to, open your heart and accept it. And think about what comes up for you because of this rampage of appreciation is what the exercise is called. All right? So you can start whenever you're ready.
I'm typing Zoom instructions into the Zoom chat.
Okay.
So I just told them.
When you're finished, raise your hand so I can know the group is done. So we have one more group, so I say keep going around. We have one more group that has to finish. Are you guys done? Okay. Okay.
Does he know sign?
You guys still appreciating one another?
We're gabbing.
He's gabbing. I did hear him. He was engaged.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I was worried.
Yeah.
He may not be back next week, so we'll see.
You done? Okay. All right, when you can find a place to stop, let's gather back together. right, so let's talk about this experience and start with how did it feel to give, to give feedback?
It felt very good. It felt very soothing and cleansing.
Cleansing.
Yeah.
It felt scary because I didn't know the person. I didn't know what I was going to say. And so then I just sat still and something came up.
So you were the Messiah.
I don't know.
Telling the dearly beloved,
Oh,
right? What it needed to know.
okay.
Isn't that interesting? Yes, Linda.
Oh. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. That's the only thing. You know the song. And love, sweet love. Song, but for everyone. And
So that's going to be an earworm for the rest of the day, right? That's a mind virus. Those are the kind that we like.
because for me, it was spreading the light, spreading the love. And I mean, I want to go everywhere and do this now. I'm going to start, yeah, seriously.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Who else, in terms of giving, what did you notice?
I too was a little concerned about, because I had a couple people that I didn't know real well, and yet when it came time, it just flowed easily and smoothly, and I loved that we said each other's name each time, so I've learned two people that I didn't know their name very well, and now I know them.
Excellent. And you notice the divine wisdom, when we call it forward, is ready to respond. If we get our bloated nothingness out of the ways of the divine circuits, right? That's what we're taught. Yes.
I really enjoyed hearing the feedback from other people about my members in the group because it was enlivening. It lifted me up, too, to hear about them and their acknowledgments.
Isn't that amazing? So what happened to the energy from the giving? Lots of thought forms that shifted, things that you didn't know about other people, right? So, yes, Rachel.
I started to feel like Santa Claus because I just couldn't wait to give gifts to people. It was just so lovely.
I love it. I love it. All right, so let's talk about how was it to receive? Anyone?
It felt warm and authentic, and every one of the people in my group said the same thing about me. So they really can see me. It was wonderful. I felt great.
Thank you.
I always have trouble accepting nice things about me, so I usually feel uncomfortable, but this group of people made me feel very good.
Isn't that interesting? Anyone else struggle with receiving? A couple hands went up, yes. Any comments about that? Yes.
At first, I was having trouble and was embarrassed, but as we went around, I felt like a glow, like warmth.
It felt safer? Yes. It felt safer. So trust is a fundamental issue with this practice. It's really interesting because we have to build trust. So it doesn't automatically happen, and yet within a matter of 20 minutes, there was an openness of trust. You see, we really have to look at the ways of how we put obstacles in the way of something that is really very simple and yet so powerful. So let me ask this question. Any other insights about receiving?
I noticed my body language. When I was speaking about the other person, I was upright and happy, and I shrank when they spoke about me.
So what's that about?
Oh, that worthiness thing, that you always talk about.
The unworthiness, the not enoughness, that's the real virus. That's the epidemic that we're facing. That's what the rabbi's gift is all about, is looking beyond that, getting that out of the way. That's what the first commandment is. Love the Lord your God with your whole heart, mind, and soul. That's the self-love. And when we shrink in the receiving, are we open to loving ourselves? No, it's pretty clear. But it takes time. It takes this type of practice to allow yourself to receive. How does that impact your health, wealth, finances, and your love in terms of receiving more love? Greater financial awareness and prosperity, greater health. So many people, chronically have beaten themselves up about what's going on in their lives, either their body, mind, or spirit. And that can't help but have an impact on your life. Isn't that what we say? What you practice most is what you become, what you experience. So we have to be able to shift that. Any other comments about receiving? Yes.
I was able to receive what was told to me. It was really a good experience to just be and allow it to come through.
Allowing, surrender to that infinite intelligence that knows more about you than you know about yourself. It's an interesting exercise. So here's the thing, couple of things I'm going to leave you with. First is, do you know that what you were giving is inside of you? What you were giving, you recognized you're looking in the mirror. That's the real takeaway here, is whatever joy and exuberance and pride or whatever you saw in the other person, it could only come from one source. And so the things that maybe you're even jealous of their expertise in something. Well, the fact that you recognize it means that it's in you. The expertise is in you. The competency is within you. The love that they showered on you is within you, if we're willing to accept it. So that's the work that we have to do, is love the Lord God in you with your whole heart, mind, and soul. And then imagine how more exuberant you could be in this exercise in terms of loving your neighbor. It changes, the dynamic changes everything. The extraordinary respect becomes a reflection of this entire community. So someone walks in here and nobody's in here, and suddenly they feel a different energy. And I know they have, but it's kicked up a notch. So your assignment is to think about this, about the giving and receiving, and then maybe trying this exercise with your family or with your friends. You know, it would have been perfect for Thanksgiving. Let's go around the table. And it might have been challenging. But think of the benefit if you could just shift that energy a little bit. Any questions, comments?
When somebody has given me a compliment, what I have told them, that they couldn't see within me what wasn't within them. Yeah. And that's what you said.
Yeah, exactly. And what was their reaction?
Kind of like, it's hard to,
Yeah. It's like, oh no, I can't be that for you. Like in the rabbi's gift, I can't be that for you. Well, why not? What are we putting in the way of being able to be receptive to our good? And I know with the family dynamic, sometimes the soil isn't really receptive to this kind of exercise. But you can still do it. What's the risk? And is that the worst thing in the world? You know? People aren't ready for it. But we are. So we're the ones that we've been waiting for.
I have two things I wanted to say. There's a saying that says, if you spot it, you got it. But then I always add, or you were a previous owner. You know, if it's a quality I don't want. And then you've talked a lot about the in-between. So if I see something in you, and I hear you saying it's in me, and I don't yet see it, I'm in the in-between. No longer that, not yet this, so I'm in between.
And so what do you do in the in-between?
I'm going to write a poem about it.
That's great. That's the self-expression. It'll get something out of you that is inhibiting you from experiencing what you really want to experience. It doesn't have to be a prayer, but that's a prayer. A poem is a prayer. Any self-expression is a prayer. The universe doesn't care whether there's 5 steps or 7 steps. You know? It's the poem. It's the painting. It's the dance. Whatever it is get that self-expression out there with an intention to create more extraordinary respect, more love. And it'll happen. So anyone else? For those online, I appreciate you doing some exercises, and I apologize that we weren't able to be as interactive as this group was, but your assignment would be the same, as you saw the power of this exercise, and I encourage you to do it at home as well with somebody, at least 4 people, okay? If there's no other questions, wait, one more.
When you receive all the, receive all the nice words, the compliments that somebody offers you, there's no doubt that that makes you feel good. It makes you want to share that feel-good feeling with others and pass on that compliment so they can feel better about themselves.
Pay it forward. Yeah, thank you. All right, well, everyone, Sylvia's got her hand up.
One more thing. I did have a very good relationship with my sister, and what I've been doing is sending her texts with blessing words, and what I'm getting is what I'm sending to her is for me. And it's developed, our relationship has developed into a much better relationship.
That is a very important point, is this exercise doesn't matter whether you're giving, it's still for you. It's understanding that mirror, that whatever I'm putting out there is coming back to me. So I better be damn sure what I'm putting out there, right? But that's the discipline part, is sitting at my own feet. What do I want to experience from this teacher? Because that's the only way that I'm really going to learn, is to observe what the heck I'm doing. And is that what I want to experience? And if I want a different experience, then I have to change my thinking, change my behavior, change my beliefs, and that'll change my life. Thank you for coming today. And I will see you next month.